Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, the Kentucky schedule. We're going to have a win-loss prediction for the entire season. And this is Brock Vandegrift's team now after going down to Georgia and picking up their 5-star out of the transfer portal. So this should be a very interesting year for Mark Stoops and Kentucky. Now, on the front end, I'll go ahead and tell you, Mark's done a good job. He's at a pure basketball school, honestly. He's been the first coach to really make some waves up there, had a couple of 10-win seasons, and really made Kentucky football respectable. But he's in the toughest league in the country. That's just the way that it is. And he's usually dealing with several teams a year that have a lot more talent. And we'll see how he's going to do this year. I've got some pretty interesting predictions. All right, he's going to start out with Southern Miss Golden Eagles at Kroger Field. I'll tell you the thing about Southern Miss is you think, well, they're not some big-time school. They'll give you a game. They will. Now, I think Kentucky will beat this team, but you don't want to look past them because they've taken down some big dogs in the past. So, like I said, I think they'll take this game very seriously and they'll win it. All right, then the South Carolina Gamecocks. This will be a super interesting game. Again, it's at Kroger Field. They start out with their first 4 games at home, and that's a big bonus. Now, South Carolina is a very interesting team. I call them the Jan Brady of the SEC because they've got the pretty sister, which is Clemson, who is Marsha.
Marsha. No.
And South Carolina has to live in the shadow of Clemson, and that's very frustrating for them. But they've got some talent. Now, they're going to be bringing in Lenora Sellers this year, who's a high 3-star, very athletic, big dude, 6'3", like 250, smart. And he's going to be a handful to deal with for Kentucky.
Sure, Jan.
But I believe they will, and since he is so young and he's got some mechanical issues because he needs to be developed further, I think they'll have the advantage at QB with Brock Vandegrift, and it's at home, and I think Kentucky will win this game. It's not going to be easy, but I think they will win it. So now they're 2-0. All right, then, oh, good grief. I don't care if this is at home or not. You got to play Georgia. Georgia's got Carson Beck. They're loaded at every position. They play the same style of football as Kentucky does, but they have a higher-ranked athlete at every single position. That's why Kentucky usually just gets boat raced by Georgia, because they're playing the same style against Georgia, and you just can't do that. You've got to out-scheme them. You can't out-talent them unless you're like maybe a Texas can match with them, but otherwise – you just can't play them that way, but that's Mark Stoops' style, which works most of the time. It won't in this game, so you'll be 2-1. All right, Ohio Bobcats. Okay, there's your easy win. That'll be nice. You can win that by 30, and you'll need that after playing Georgia. This will make you feel better. You'll be 3-1 after this game, and then you got to go to see Lane Kiffin down at Ole Miss. That's going to be a tough game, folks. Ole Miss has got a great quarterback in Jackson Dart. They are loaded in so many positions now. They loaded up their defense in the transfer portal. They got Walter Nolan on the defensive line. They picked up a great cornerback from Alabama. Juice Wells from South Carolina as a wide receiver. If he stays healthy, he's going to be terrific. I just don't think you're going to be able to beat Ole Miss there. So I'm going to have to give you an L on that one. And that'll make you 3-2. Then you're off, and then you've got an easy game coming up against Vanderbilt. You must not lose this game. That's ridiculous. You lost to Vanderbilt a couple of years ago, which has shocked the world. It won't happen at Kroger Field, but look, you got to stay on top of your game here and not just look past them. Otherwise, I think you'll have no problem. I only say that because you did lose to them a couple of years ago, which surprised the crap out of me. All right, so now you're 4-2. All right, now we're going to Florida. You're going to play in the Swamp, the Gators. All right, so the Florida Gators, Billy Napier. This is going to be a very interesting game. Billy's on the hot seat like you can't believe. He needs to win this game. It's at the Swamp. They've got a really good quarterback in Graham Mertz. I think Florida will win this game, but I would not be surprised if Kentucky – this is the one game that I've got you down as an L, but you could absolutely win because you've been kind of bullying them the last few years. You've had their number. After they had your number for 2 decades, you've suddenly got their number. And it's upsetting to Florida. Let me tell you something. They are upset down there about what you've done to them last several years. So I've got you down as an L because it's at the Swamp. But that's a game you could absolutely win. So now you're 4-3. Now you've got Auburn Tigers coming up to Kroger Field. I'm going to put you down as a W there, but let me tell you something. You'd better be on your game. This is a much improved team. Their quarterback is decent, Peyton Thorne. He's not great, but he will run on you. This is a game that's really tricky. You need to not look past Auburn, and I'm sure you won't. I'm going to give you the W here, but this is a tricky one. It's probably 55-45 on this one. So now you're 5-3. All right, folks, now you're coming to Tennessee. This is going to be rough. The time has not been announced yet. You need to hope this isn't a 7 o'clock game. If it is, it's not going to be pretty. Because you know Tennessee Vols fans like to get fired up and prepared for the game.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
No. Oh, no, sir.
Oh, no.
No.
Absolutely. And now I need to talk to Nick Roush. Look, Nick, you're going into this game. I know how much Tennessee upset you. I understand it perfectly. And I've thought a lot about how you're going to be able to get through this. And really, under the circumstances, as it's at Neyland, you know the history there, you see the team we've got, the best thing for you to do, and I want you to get through this game and not have a bad moment. Best thing to do is this. You look like you're a little too old to be a millennial, so you need to borrow a participation trophy from a millennial or somebody that works there at KSR. I'm sure y'all hand them out over there occasionally. And have this ready to go. Because if you'll hold this during the game or during bad moments, it will help you a little bit. Now, here's the second thing I need you to do. If there's one thing I've learned from the Gen Z folks, it's to have a toboggan ready. Now, normally they like to wear them in the summertime when it's like 95 degrees, and they work best at that temperature. This will probably be a pretty cold game because it's in November, so you'll have a toboggan ready. But go ahead and have that toboggan on. I'd wear it the whole game. So you'll have your Gen Z toboggan, you'll have your participation trophy, and look, if it gets really bad, just find a safe space.
Everyone likes me and thinks I'm great in my safe space.
My safe space.
Absolutely. If you can find a safe space, that will help a lot. If you're actually at the game, you're not going to be able to find a safe space. I don't know. Maybe a stall in a bathroom or something along those lines. Of course, you'll be in the press box. Maybe they'll have a special area there for you. But you're going to need all three of those things. The trophy, the toboggan, and the safe space.
The ashtray, the pilot game, and the remote control. That's all I need.
Because this is going to be a tough game for you. And we kind of know how they usually go.
And now we're stuck here. Mark Stoops is 2-9 against this team. And to walk around this place before the game, I was disgusted. The smugness of those guys just walking around like, we're going to walk in here, we're going to kick your ass, and you can't do anything about it. And it made me sick. And you know what? They did it. They still did it. What the hell? Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange colors, and their stupid song, and their woo, get their woo on out of here.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I'm sorry, I've got you down for an L on this one. All right, so now you're 5-4. And you're off after this, take a little vacation after that. It'll help you. All right, then you got Murray State Racers, and that's at home, so that'll be a really easy win. You can win by 30, start feeling good about things. And now you're 6-4. Unfortunately, you've got to travel to Texas. That is no bueno. That's another Georgia-style team, and you're going to try to bully them, and they're going to bully you. So unfortunately, I have no choice. I got to give you a loss on this one. That's going to make you 6-5. And that's just how Texas is, man. They're tough. Okay, big game, in-state. Everybody knows how important an in-state game is, the Louisville Cardinals. I really like your chances in this game. I think you'll win this one. It's going to be tough, but it's at Kroger Field. That's a huge advantage, and your crowd will be banging. So I like you winning this game and going 7-5, finishing off, going to a nice bowl game. You'll probably win the bowl game, which you usually do, and you'll be 8-5, and that's another rock-solid season. It is possible that you could go 9-4. You could beat Florida, for example. That could happen. So I've got you somewhere, 7 wins in the regular season, maybe 8, and then winning your bowl game and having a good, solid season yet again. Mark Stoops has been a great hire. You folks remember what it was like before him. So I'm glad for you that he didn't go to Texas A&M. And he'll probably coach, a few more years, and I think he'll retire. And I think that was in the back of his mind about taking that Texas A&M job. I don't think he wants to coach, into his later years. I think he wants to enjoy his life. So I think you'll get, 2, 3, 4, 5 more years out of him, and then you can find you another coach. But he's done a great job. He just has. He's put you on the map. He's made you very respectable. Teams can't look past you anymore. And the fact the guy won 10 games a couple times is fantastic. So anyway, there is your schedule and your win-loss prediction. I think that's pretty fair, and I would expect somewhere in that neighborhood. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these big sports stories. If you've not subscribed, hit this little button right here. It will not cost you a dime and helps me out. I'd appreciate it. And right over here is the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.